Welcome to the jungle. Rob Baer here today with a sweet review and unboxing of Games Workshop's newest board game, The Lost Patrol. Spiky bits. Make sure you stay in the trenches by becoming a supporter over on Patreon and also scoring yourself some free miniature swag in the process. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out our site, spikybits.com, for all the hot hobby tutorials, news, rumors on all your favorite hobby topics. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today. So if you're looking for fun and games this summer, Games Workshop might just have what you need in the new Lost Patrol board game that looks to be actually quite fun. I mean, this isn't going to be something that is going to have amazing replay value unless you just enjoy playing games on maximum effort, because I almost feel like the Scouts have kind of the deck stacked against them, literally, in this game here. But, it looks to be really fun. It's something, it's a two-player game. It takes about 30 minutes to play. It's, very few pages of rules. But it's just one of those games that, you can just kind of pick up and put down, play it at lunch, play it as in a little league format maybe, or something like that, or just something cool to bust out, if there isn't anything else going on. I really like the configuration and the presentation of the game in the box itself. You got this cool kind of different art. It's not the standard stuff we normally see from Games Workshop. It's a little bit different art. I almost feel like they kind of want the Marines to be kind of larger than life here, because we all know Gene Stealers are, well, let's just say if you saw a Gene Stealer in real life, you'd probably go running, because those things are as big as a Space Marine, and Space Marine's 8-9 feet tall, right? I know I would go running. I'd probably go running if I saw a Termagant, because that's anything bigger than a cat, I'd become concerned for my well-being. Also bees. I also become concerned with my well-being when there are bees about. So, but, I kind of feel like they're oh, look at these guys. They're fighting their way out of the jungle. It's going to be dope. And then you flip it over on the back and you're like, oh man, check it out. It's like a green background. It's really cool. It's got, all the typical, Citadel kind of artwork that's on some of the Galaxy posters, and, perhaps the stuff that's on the cutting mat also. So it all kind of blends in, it makes it look cool. You don't really want to see it on your kitchen table. This looks dope. I want to buy this now when I flip it over and I see these cool graphics. I see the models you get, made in the UK, distributed G-Dub. It says it does, you got to put them together and paint them. It comes with 3 dice. You get your 30 tiles and your 1 wind tile right there with a little drop ship. And then complexity level's a new thing here. It almost makes me think that they're coming out, or maybe that's an industry board game standard. This isn't really a board game channel, so, hey, if some of you folks out there are on the board, up and up on all the board game stuff, let me know if that's a thing, with board games. I've never seen it before. Maybe GW's introducing it. Then they go into the content. So I like the clear, concise presentation of the game here. You know what you're getting, you know how long it takes, you know how many players it's for, how difficult is it, i.e. can kids play it? Now, granted, it might not be the thing you always want kids playing, 8-year-olds, I don't know. I feel like I probably saw Predator a little too early in life. It didn't really, I guess, affect me, but, maybe if I had kids now, I wouldn't let them see Predator at 8 or 9 years old, I suppose. But, that being said, that's all water under the bridge. I feel like this is kind of the 40K version of Predator, get to the dropship, come on! So opening it up here, and lots of folks have already gotten this. Games Workshop sent out press copies. Sadly, I'm not on the GW press copy list, unfortunately. Maybe they'll rectify that in the future, who knows, just hire me, GW. So, well, first thing, when you open it up, you see basically the logo of the game, which I think is pretty cool. Now, these didn't come sealed. They're the cardboard tiles. They're that kind of that hefty kind of cardstock thing. It doesn't have that thick UV coat that the Betrayal for Calth and even, the Deathwatch tiles had. But it's still pretty, still pretty hefty, still pretty beefy. I wouldn't want to pick them up. They would just basically pop off of there. So you've got those tiles, the game tiles. Then boom, the book is all there, ready to go, in your face again. And obviously not a lot of rules here. That's pretty cool, kind of the whole 30-minute time limit. Then you get your bases, which are your 25 mils, your 3 dice, and your 2 instruction manuals on how to actually put the models together. Now, something I think they were a little missing out on was the whole like, hey, this is a hobby. You know, come on over to gamesworkshop.com and check out whatever the new Start Collecting boxes, kind of like they did with the Vedros, the new Vedros line. And speaking of the new Vedros line, you can kind of see here when you get into the box itself, which it's got that whole layout, you know, the little cardboard kind of ubi layout. It's not just like a crappy cardboard box like we normally get our models in. It's got this, you know, it might be 5-10 cent insert, but it's still pretty dope because it holds it. You know, you kind of feel like you're getting something. You can put all your components back in the box. It all just kind of sits here, and the only thing that's really resealable is the dice, right? Now, what I noticed was, getting back to the whole Vedros thing, was that you got colored components now. So you got colored scouts, which they didn't come this way, and this sprue is dated 2000, Games Workshop, copyright 2005, which was when we saw the new scout sprue. And it's got the normal scout sprue component number right there. I checked it on their site, but this is different, you know, it's basically a different color. And then we get back to the old purple Gene Stealers, which there used to be a purple Gene Stealer sprue way back in the day for some of the box sets in the 90s. And then they just kind of kept it, and they kept putting it in the existing single squad boxes throughout the years until they came out with this box, and this came in the gray plastic. And now they've retroed it kind of back to the purple like the old days in the 90s, which I think is kind of neat. Again, the kit that came out replacing basically these guys, these multi-part versions basically replaced the Gene Stealers that came in the Battle for McCrag starter box set in 2005. So you got these, and they're basically both of these are existing kits. Like, you go to the shelf and you want a box of Gene Stealers, boom, here they are right here. And I feel like while this box is still $60, for the price of you know, if you needed either of these, it's probably just better just to buy the box for $60 and then trade off the rest of the components. I'm sure there'll be people out there that want to just buy the tiles because they already have the models, like such as myself, and just want to play the game and check the game out. So they would buy the, you know, the rules and the components off you. So I feel like there's a market for everything in here. For a lot of people out there. Like, if I wasn't reviewing this, I would just want to buy the tiles and the rules, you know, from it. So I think that's kind of neat. Now, speaking of the rules, of course, we're going to take a closer look at those as well, because I want to show you guys, basically give you a preview of how the game actually works. But before we jump to that, let's take a look at some of these game tiles, right? Like, these look pretty dope and they go together. And the whole object is, you know, the scouts basically go through the past. The Gene Stealers can walk around the past. It's no big deal. So they're kind of themey, and each one's different. They didn't reuse anything. So you got some loop arounds. You got some, what would you call this? A T intersection right here, right? Then you got some more different looking stuff, some T intersections. Now this is where you start. This is the clearing tile. This is the winning tile that can only be reached by the one entrance right there, okay? And then you've got some more stuff. And each of these, you know, it's kind of different. Like, that's a dead end, basically, kind of a dead end, not really, you know, it's kind of a curve about. So there's actually a way to basically lose the game because you don't reveal, like, you never reveal a place to actually place the end tile, which is kind of interesting, I feel like. So getting into the actual rules themselves, I mean, this book, it's very small. It's fairly simple. You know, it's about as much rules as the Knight Renegade box, which needs a little bit of tweaking, I feel like, on that one action item. You know, if you're reduced in actions, I feel like it should apply to your next cycle. And I've asked them about that, and we've talked about that. And that's the way we played it in our battle report, because it just makes more sense, because then it's very hard to come to grips and hand-to-hand in that regard there. So they basically go through all the rules, and we're just doing a brief overview. We're going to do like a little bit of a walkthrough, you know, basically a demo game, so to speak, here in the near future on here. Basically, how does it play? And we might do an actual battle report with a couple different folks, you know, do some guest spots and things, because these little games I'm really digging them, and I'd like to get more of them out on the channel, because this is kind of the thing that you can introduce with your friends. Hey, you want to check this game out? Maybe 40K is a little too complex to throw on your friend, but hey, you know, check out this, right? And then you just kind of work into it that way. So you got to placing tiles, and basically how that works. You have to, you know, set up the clearing tile, and then basically you randomly draw the rest of the tiles here, and then you can basically look down line of sight, and you just keep revealing tiles until the path curves or something like that. And that's what they explain right there. And then removing tiles, like if the scouts don't have line of sight to a tile anymore, then it's removed, which kind of makes sense. To win, you got to get to the dropship. Then scouts have specific actions. I think they only have 2 action points. They can either move and then fire, or then move and move again, which is really important because you can get slowed down by some of the brush, the tangle wire or tangleweed. And so if you try to do 2 movements, you might have, 50-50 chance of getting through it. So you can move and fire and taking shots at the Gene Stealer. It's very similar to how Space Hulk was, where you needed 6s. And then the Gene Stealers can do 3 actions: place a Gene Stealer, infest, and move. And you always place a Gene Stealer at the end of the path. You can place an infestation counter with any tile that already has a Gene Stealer in it. So basically you can spawn from that infestation marker, which is kind of cool because you can get a little bit closer instead of starting down here and getting shot up. If you get down to here, you might have a better chance of spawning a dude and just like, hey, we're here. So that's kind of cool as far as, tactics go. So there's a lot of, it's kind of like a fast-paced, like kind of trying to, super hard mode, like survive kind of type game. And each tile can only have 3 Gene Stealers in it right there that they talk about. And then they get into assault and how that works. And you can do kind of like Overwatch a little bit with the Marines. Basically what happens when you win, they're driven back. If you can't basically place a scout backwards or without doubling back, he's destroyed. We saw that in the White Dwarf battle report there. And then, winning the game. Hey, get to the dropship. Get to the dropship. Come on. That's my best Arnold. That's all I got. Anywho, so and there's a picture on the back of, hey, I want to paint those guys up. I want them to look just like that. And, and it's cool that they used the Blood Angels scouts here because, they come with red on red spruce. So why not, right? But I don't know why they did like kind of the lighter kind of look here. I might have gone with the more purplish, but it's still pretty cool. And I'm sure it'll inspire a lot of hopefully soon to be new hobbyists out there. So that is basically our first look review and unboxing of the new game. Make sure you check back here in the near future for a kind of walkthrough slash overview of how the game plays.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.